Hey guys, in this video I want to show you some new features and changes for the latest version of Blender 2.8. The first thing I noticed is that there was no top bar anymore, and I thought perhaps they removed it completely, but it is still there. I had to open the header menu and enable tool settings, and this kind of opens the toolbar, but this is now integrated into the editor, which I think is a pretty good idea. Especially when you activate an editor with options that are now located in the upper right hand corner of the editor top bar and not anymore on a global top bar, which makes much more sense in my opinion, and it's also easier to find. Here you can see it for the edit mode, and we have other options for the sculpt mode and for the weight painting and so on. Also, when changing the workspace, the tool settings have to be activated again, so it seems this setting is stored per workspace. Well, okay, but in my opinion it should be activated by default. Okay, the next change that caught my attention was the colored icons, also a pretty good idea. We have different groups for the properties. We have red ones, a group for material, texture and world, which kind of belong together. My first idea was, why aren't these red ones together like the blue and the gray icons? And then there are some separators, for example between the material and the texture, which look a bit like they are just placed randomly. I know the texture has a special role, but maybe the users don't care. Also, the object and object data are put to separate groups. Perhaps these could also share the same color. And blue color is for modifiers, particles, physics and constraints. This makes sense, and the light gray icons belong to a group that you would call scene or something like that. So to sum it up, I like the idea of the colored icons, but I'm pretty sure that this is not the last change for this feature. I bet there's going to be a lot of discussion here. Alright, in the sidebar we have now different panels for the active item, the active tool to display the tool with its settings. So let's see the behavior when I change the active tool. And then we have a separate panel for the view. Okay, then let's come to display options for the gizmos, which is a bit confusing for me, I have to say. As you know, you can for example change the transform orientation, for instance to local or global. And now we have Gizmo settings for the viewport and also for objects, which is cool in my opinion, but these settings kind of override, or you could override, the transform orientation that we just set. So if you keep it to default, the transform orientations are used, but not if you set it to a special orientation for objects in the Gizmo settings. Also, these checkboxes don't seem to have any effect. Well, at least this is not very intuitive, I would say, and perhaps also this feature needs some more polishing. We will see. What I wanted to show you as well are some resources where you can see the tasks that the developers are currently working on. The link to this board is added to the description below. Here are the tasks that have a high priority. And here you can see all open issues, so still a lot of stuff to do for the guys. And this is the log for the source code. These are the issues that are committed to the Blender Git repository, so you can see at a very early stage which bugs are fixed or which features will come in the next version. I also wanted to show you the page with the Python API changes. I heard that the API will be freezed in May, which would be great. Here you can see what you have to change in your code when you are migrating an add-on from Blender 2.7 to 2.8. And there are also links to new features like the GPU module that I use a lot in my FastCarve add-on for drawing into the viewport. On this page you can find a short how-to for using timers in your add-ons, which can also be used in threads. I will come up with a special tutorial for this. Another tutorial that I have on my list is to show the UI widgets for lights and the camera that can be used, for example, to control the direction and size of lights and the depth of field of the camera. So stay tuned guys, I hope you like my videos and tutorials. If you do, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you'd like to support me, consider being my patron, this would really help a lot. Thanks for this. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, add these to the comments, and I see you here on JNM.